We are testing out. Come on, everything's going to work. Everything's going to work. Yeah, we're live. We are live. All right, we're live on stuff. Live. What? That's not what we are. We are live, trying to get up and running. No, live. Not helpful. All right, there we go. We're live. We are live. Come on, Instagram. Don't fight with me. You can do it. Come on, Instagram. You can do it. We can get live here. Do. Play nice, Instagram. Looks like we're live up there. Hey, all right. All right. For those joining early, we're just trying to get everything up and running. We've had a little studio debacle today, but we're going to make this happen. All the planning out the window, but we're here. Appreciate you guys all joining me. We're just trying to get this up and running. Sorry we're a little early. You guys are all the early OGs. We get the behind the scenes, the BTS, as the kids say. So it looks like everybody's working. All right. All right, I can do that. I want to be able to see everybody's comments, but everything hates me. All right, we're going, it's happening. Chat so you can see everybody. All right. Melissa Comstock, thank you for joining. You're here early. We're just trying to get everything running here. Just trying to make it all work. We're gonna get there. It's all happening. All right, we're gonna be able to see everybody's chat. Like I said, we had a plan here for me having some help of the dogs. Have thrown a wrench in the plan, so we're just gonna get through here. I'm gonna make sure I can read the chat from over there. That's all we're doing now, and then we'll get going. All right. All right. Live stream is happening. All right, let's do it. Get over there, and we'll get painting. Yes, the shipping department has led to change of plans, but we're doing it. It's happening. All right. Went all early. Everything's earlier than it should have been. Everything's gone off the rails, but we're going to figure it all out. It's all happening now. Again, that's why we did this earlier, just to make sure. But I am solo, so we will figure it out. But welcome. Thank you guys for joining so far, especially if you're early. Like I said, we had a little change of plans, but we're still gonna just mellow. We're gonna paint. Thank you guys all for being to the first and probably the worst one. It's only gonna get better from here, I promise. So we'll get this figured out. But we're gonna get painting here. Again, welcome to the inaugural brush hour. We'll probably do about an hour and some change today painting. So the new piece, Space for Us. So again, we're gonna be doing this every week. We've done it in the past, we've live streamed, but never actually had a set time. So we're really excited to have a set time to kind of have some of you guys can plan on, hang out, ask our questions. Like I said, today will be the worst because it's difficult for me to see the questions, but I'll try and do my best, and we'll get all the things worked out. Normally we have a system in place, but we will fly like we are now. So if I miss your question, I will go back and answer all the questions in the chat afterwards. So feel free to fire away as we're going along. I'll paint. I'll stop a bit and answer some questions, and we're gonna make this work. Like I said, this is the worst it's ever gonna be. It's only gonna get better. Again, for those who don't know, my name is David Lozeau, and I'm a San Diego-based artist in Southern California. So mostly Day of the Dead style stuff, but a little bit of everything. So welcome. Again, feel free to fire some questions through. I appreciate you guys hanging out. So we're just gonna get after it. And I appreciate you guys. Again, I appreciate everybody joining in. Let's get to work here. Stop. The audio, we got all the stuff, so it's all happening. I promise you the dogs will be on the shipping department, will be on the next one. I installed new cams just for them. They were all excited to go, and then had a little meltdown, but everybody will be back next week. Are in good behavior. So we're just going to pair away. Thank you, NCF, sorry, for snagging 15 picks. I appreciate it. Patrick, thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate it. Boom Juice. Oh, you want my cam setup? I can talk about that. So that's part of this whole live stream. So I have an A7 III as my main cam here. I have an A6500 as my face cam. And I have two webcams as the dog cams. I forget, just generic webcams, but they're kind of mounted in weird spots. And we're running our live stream through Restream. So everything's going well, and that's kind of the basic setup I use for when I'm recording time lapses and stuff. I use kind of the same rear cam to kind of record all my stuff. That's kind of what we have, and that does all the stuff and kind of lets me share this. So hopefully we'll be good, and this will all stay up and running. Let's get after some paint here. So I'm just talking all the time. And again, appreciate you guys joining me. Like I said, we have a process in place to ask you the questions, which will be up and running next time. So I'll stop a little bit and answer questions. But we are here, and it's all going to happen. The worst part is I'll be asking questions in unprompted conversations. So what I'm doing now is I'm doing the enamel on top of gouache. Gouache is like an opaque watercolor. And I go into all my colors first. And the last stage is I go in with the dark line work, like right now, and do all the detail. And this is kind of where everything comes together. And this is my favorite part of it, where all the little nooks and crannies get carved out. All the everything just really comes to life. Doing a space view like this reminds me of Commander Mark. Did you guys ever watch Commander Mark as a kid? He was usually on after Bob Ross, and so I used to watch him. And he used to draw all kinds of weird alien stuff and perspective, and again teaching kids to draw. But space view really reminds me of that. Again, thank you all, everybody, for joining. Like I said, any questions that I miss, I will get back to next time. We will get this ironed out. But like I said, I'll be drawing, I'll be painting. I might do some sculpture sometimes. Everything to kind of keep it fun and fresh. I might do a live stream, from somewhere, maybe a fellow artist studio or art event, stuff like that. It's really, we should kind of have fun with it and make it a regular thing. I think the dogs were tired of not being on the stream, so they tried to sabotage the stream. So this piece is sold, but there will be prints of this guy because I love the cute little space stuff, and we kind of have a whole little series now. So we'll make sure that they have a few prints of these. All right. You know what? I'm gonna junk this brush because he keeps flailing out. We'll grab a new brush. I usually get, probably 4 or 5 paintings out of one brush before it starts to be a pain in the butt, but this one's already put out. So let's grab a new brush. Stream up, see if we can see what's going on. And we'll get back after it. I can't tell if Instagram is still on. Hey, Stacy. Thanks for joining us here. We're just trying to get everything fired up. I can't tell if Instagram is on. Let me try. See. You look like it's cooperating. Do I have a staff? Meaning someone who knows something? She's not here. Let's see if we're dead in the water here on Instagram. Hold on, everybody. We'll get this fire back up. All right. Video. All right, we'll figure this out. Let's get all right, everybody up except for Instagram. Instagram is being a pain in the butt. So we're gonna come on. Bear with me, guys. That's why we did this early. Make sure we get this done first. Okay, we're gonna try it again. Apologize, guys, for the delay here. It's just the nature here of dealing with this. Live stream 12 places. we can get this Instagram up and running here. All right. All right, let's get back to work here. Emergency IT help has come running up. Instagram went live and then just kicked out. Zuckerberg's fault. But back to work, everybody. Again, fire any questions you have through and we'll get you sorted out. Like I said, this is the worst one. It's only going to get easier. All right, we are back up and running. Apologize for the stuff, but you know it is. Instagram. Instagram's always a pain in the butt. I think Taylor Swift is still hogging the internet. Can you see the Instagram? Yes. We are up. Head out of the way. All right, head out of the way. Can you slide over so I can see the other one also? If you can. Don't worry about it. Perfect. Perfect. All right, everyone. Thank you. Welcome. Sorry for the, I had to call my amazing IT, or the person who has all of our passwords. She makes everything work. Apologize again. So she's not feeling well, so we kind of lost her from the stream, but she got us up and running. So we're on our own. We're gonna figure this out. Like I said, it's never gonna be worse than it is than today's stream. But we're good. What do we got? Again, Stacey, thanks for hanging out, everybody. The idea for this painting. So this is actually, it's funny. This little cute space guys have been in a few paintings. One was a really large commission, which was, I think it was almost 5 feet tall. And it had all kinds of little astronauts all over it, and they were hanging stars, and it just really kind of spawned this idea, these kind of guys. And they're just, I kind of always have cute little astronaut ideas. I think it's a fun thing to paint. You know, I'm still the same kid who, you know, spaceman, astronaut. So this is just a cute way of experimenting with them, and of course, I think it will lead to a more serious piece. I did a black and white spaceman inking last year. You might have seen. Just a constant. I mean, I love sci-fi. I'm a raised in the '80s, so all the sci-fi movies, all this stuff. So this is kind of the cute version of what toodles around in my head. Haha, Comstock. It is the star. It's overshadowing me, which I don't like. But again, thank you all for joining. For those who, sorry for the issues as we started here, but we are now up and running, and everything is on all cylinders. So we're going. So right now you're watching me do the enamel portion of the painting. For those who are new, again, sorry for those who've been around a while. You're gonna listen to it again. The back is acrylic. This color is here. All the colors you see here is gouache. And that's kind of like an opaque watercolor, and that's all my underpainting. And then the next stage and the final stage is this black line work that I'm doing. And this is where all the detail gets carved out. All the, all the nooks and crannies, all the little, really the heart of the painting comes together at this point, which is why I share this part of the painting. The other part is, it's a little messy. It's slow to develop. This you see right away. I mean, it just pulls everything together. So that's why I like to share this stage of the work. But again, fire any questions. If I miss your question, I will get it in the follow-up. I'll go through and make sure I replied to everybody. But again, I appreciate you joining me. We're going to be doing this every Wednesday. I have all kinds of pieces already prepped, ready to go. Like I said, we're going to do paintings. We're going to do maybe some inkings, some sculpture. I don't know. We have all kinds of ideas, all kinds of projects already in the works. So hope you guys can join us. Feel free to fire any questions you have, throughout the stream about art, anything else. We are here for this. And I appreciate, for those who don't know, I was on the road doing shows for 15 years, where I met a lot of people. A lot of you guys I met there. So it's this is a great way to kind of get in touch and to share the work, because I miss painting live. I miss people seeing the work come to life. So this is kind of a good middle ground for me. I can paint in my jammies. So I appreciate you guys hanging out and watching me paint. And like I said, this one is sold, but we will have prints of this. So, and with all these smalls, and as we move forward doing the brush hour, if there's something you see that I'm posting, that I'm painting, feel free to reach out. Most of these smalls are gone before I paint them, just because I don't do them often. So if you have any, something you like, you want to have a question, just, feel free to ask away. Let me see here, try and get some questions. I can't see the Instagram. Let me just click on that so I can see what's going on Instagram. There we go. See everybody there. See everybody what's going on. There we go. I can see everything. All right. We're back. We're painting. It's happening. All right. Any questions? Boy, that first brush I had was terrible. This is such a better. When a brush is awkward from the beginning, like the bristles don't want to cooperate, it just doesn't ever cooperate. I should have dumped it like a painting ago. All right, thanks everybody for hanging out. Appreciate it. There's some moon boots. Pretty sure I had these same silver boots as a kid. Boots. I appreciate it. Thanks, JFab. Solid fashion choice. Well, you know, my own stuff. I will tend to wear my own gear. A shameless self-promoter. Self chair. We'll get to the alien. We'll get there. We'll get there. That was Erica's favorite part of the painting too. She's pretty excited to see that in there. Get to the alien. My favorite part is the fact that they have space helmets on, but they're skeletons. Let's see. Let me get your name right. My glasses on. My glasses. So Lean Droid is asking if I still do wooden frames for my paintings, and yes, for the big paintings, I still make custom original frames to kind of match the environment they're in. But for these small frames here, I use vintage sconces and vintage frames, and I design the pieces to fit the shape of that frame. This one is going in. This piece is the shape. I'll show you the frame. This is the frame that it's going in, and you can see it is the same shape as the. Can you see that? It is the same shape as the piece, and I like the challenge of designing a piece based on the shape like that. It makes me think in a different way. But yes, the large frames I still do custom. Again, it's a fun way to kind of finish the story. And I don't do as many large, really large pieces, so I do get a chance to do that. I enjoy it. I have a big pirate surfing piece here that I just have to finish the frame for. That again, I love the details because imagine if I was in a pirate ship and I was building a frame for what was around me, what would it look like? And that's kind of where I start the process of imagining what that frame would look like. Good question. Stacy with a good question about, do I listen to music to kind of when I'm not live streaming? Yes, this is very awkward to listen to the voices in my head while I paint. I always kind of have tunes going. It's funny, before this new studio, I moved about maybe 3 years ago, I would have old movies playing, but because of my setup now, I don't have the angle as well to paint. It's designed more for painting, and there's no TV directly there, so I tend to listen to music a lot more. Music and audiobooks are my secret weapon because I paint so much. I don't want to kill my music, so I do a lot of audiobooks. I listen to audiobooks when I ride my mountain bike, when I'm just driving. I am a huge sucker now for audiobooks. I am fully bought in. I think I did like 60 or 70 last year. Like, I just devour content. So I find that the audiobooks let me just kind of put my mind on cruise control and go ahead and paint. Because again, this is the most fun part. This is, my brain can just basically, that's why I can talk and paint at the same time, is because this is what I do. This is my favorite part, and my brain knows what to do. It's like, just go do what we do. Good questions. Andrew Wooten, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out here. My music preference. Oh, I'm super eclectic, so I'm all over the board. I love my Grateful Dead. I love my punk. I love my significant other calls it pirate music. If it's got a mandolin in it, if it's got some bluegrassy, that kind of thing. I am a Appalachia sounding stuff. I love everything, but that tends to be what plays a lot. I also love my my late 80s, early 90s rap. So it's a very eclectic mix in the studio, and that was the best part about one of the best parts about the new studio and moving here was that now that I'm out of the house, I get to play my music as loud and obnoxious as I want. It doesn't disturb anybody else. My studio is attached now, so I can be as smelly, stinky as I want to be and listen to what I want. So it gets pretty loud in here, and I just enjoy kind of immersing myself in the pieces and being able to just kind of blare my weirdness, whether it's the Grateful Dead, whether it's, like I said, whether it's Beastie Boys, 90, whatever it is that I'm playing at that day. I like to be able to just do it inappropriately loud. Marcel Blue's asking, how much time do you need for this paint? How long you work on this one here? So what you're seeing now, I probably have an hour in the sketch. And the background and the paint underneath is probably another, couple hours. And the top level here will be another couple hours. So this size piece, this small, you're probably all in from like conception to painting, probably 5 to 6 hours. I'm a pretty fast painter once I get my idea ironed out. Everybody's bringing the questions. Again, thanks everybody for hanging out. I appreciate you guys. Welcome to Brush Hour. Like I said, we're going to be getting better at this. The dogs blew me off and had a little meltdown, so they're not on the stream today. But the shipping department, like I said, is anxiously planning their return to the big screen. They got agents, they got all this, negotiations, the whole thing trying to get them into here. They think they're worth a lot more than they used to be. All right, we're gonna get to Melissa's alien here pretty soon. All right, everything seems pretty stable now. We got everything up and running. Everything's working. And now it's 20 minutes past the time we were supposed to be live, so we're getting it. So if you're on this stream, where did you see the work first? Where did you find it? Where was I out in your town under a tent somewhere? Was it at Disney? Where did you guys see the work to begin with? Yeah, the dog ego is unbelievable in this house. Jay Thad, I appreciate you catching me live this time. We're going to be every Wednesday now, because again, it was hard before. It was so random, but we're going to try and be a little more set with it so we can kind of give everybody a chance. And then the challenge of that is that we make a plan and the dogs go, oh, you think you're doing something today? Here comes the alien. Fourth Ave Street Fair 2013. Oh, I am old. Excellent. I missed that show. You know, I miss being on the road, and the Tucson Tempe shows are really close to our hearts. Those were our first really big ones. One of our favorites for sure. So it's I always miss that when that time of year rolls around. Let's do a couple little dots here. Let's texture this back a little bit. Oops. Yeah, J-Bad, not a chance. You're not tricking me. Nicole, I haven't done New Mexico, so you probably caught me online. We never made it out there. You know, I really wish we had. It was not ever in our spots. But so you probably stalked me somewhere online. But now you're here, so you made it. Marcel, when did I start painting? So I've always drew as a kid. Went to school for graphic design because my parents said their artists aren't a real thing. That's not a thing you do. So I went to graphic design. But I started painting about 7 or 8 years after college and realized that I really missed that kind of an environment. I did have an art minor degree, but that was just basically all drawing. It was all illustrative, no painting classes. So I just kind of, when I was 31, 2, right in there somewhere, I started painting a lot, and then just kind of started focusing on the work. And I've been a full-time artist now for going on 15 years. So it's been an amazing kind of road that I don't know how we ended up here. Thank you all for liking these little weird things in my head. And it's incredibly humbling each time when I get to talk to people and share the work and they tell me the stories of how it's, you know, they've seen it in their life. It's pretty amazing. Let's see. Flickr. Oh boy. Yeah. Lean Droid, Flickr could be where you saw me. Man, that's boy, you are 2005, 6, 7, right in there somewhere. Very well could be how you found it. Man, that you might win oldest throwback. Joanna, yes, I think I will do an iPad sketching video. Again, it's super easy because I can just plug it right in and share the screen. So yeah, that will be one of the live streams. Will be just iPad sketching. We'll kind of walk through the tools I use and just kind of, you know, where my brain goes and how I like to use the iPad. I am I do some still, you know, acoustic. I don't know what you call regular drawing now, but I do some analog drawing. But most of it I do is on the pad just because I can do it as I travel. So I will do a demo to share that, and we can just kind of draw some. We'll just basically ask the crowd, and we'll draw some stuff and make some fun stuff, and just kind of share my process and how that works. All right, we're figuring this all out. What else we got here? Paint the Comstock. Calm down. Michael Young, thank you for hanging out. Appreciate it. Stacy, I'm glad I was able to stop you in your tracks at the show. Again, that's why I do this, and why I paint live at the shows. I want people to see the work and to kind of, you know, see it all come together. And when I'm live painting, you can kind of see that this is not digital, that I'm doing this all, you know, by hand. I love to share that. I love to kind of show that, you know, it's still being done. You know, it's funny. I've gone from being, you know, uncool non-digital guy to now I'm like, you know, artisanal sourdough guy almost, because he makes it by hand. So it's cool to see it come back around and people appreciate it. I love it. And of course, there's always room for digital in the way it works, but I think for me that this line work, this part right here, you just can't ever, you know, get that same energy digitally. Hey Marcel, thanks man, appreciate you joining. We'll catch you next time. Richard, thanks for hanging out, stopping in, appreciate it. We're getting these all fired up. We're gonna get these rocking. Again, like I said, we're gonna do a sketching. We're gonna do, like we just talked about, some iPad sketching, some digital analog sketching. I guess we'll call it analog. So a little bit of everything. I enjoy making art. I'm in the studio anyways. This is what I do every day. So I want to be able to kind of share that and share the process and just, you know, behind the scenes, how the work is made. And I'm basically just here to frustrate Melissa because I'm not going to touch the alien. I'm going to move right down the painting and do the alien offline. All right, let's do the alien. So because she almost has perfect attendance. All right, let's do one of these weird eyes here. I think it's funny that when we think of aliens, you know, of all the things, the higher life forms I could have painted, I have to paint a guy with 4 eyeballs. That's an alien to me, apparently. Marcel, you asking my longest session? Are you asking like how longest painting that I did? Because that's basically, or like longest live stream. Thanks, Richard, for sharing the art. Appreciate it. I usually rest my hand, Stacy, on my leg, on my knee. When I'm live painting in a normal easel, I have a box below me where I can rest my hand, because yeah. But I try and, usually it's on the painting when the painting's bigger. This is the power pinky, and it basically supports my whole thing. So Lean Droid, this part of the process here, I just got to this right now. You're seeing it. I did the underpainting 2 days ago, and then this part of the painting now. And I think you asked, and this painting is sold. Somebody saw me post it that this was what I was painting tomorrow, and they snatched it up last night. And that's, again, if you see something, that's the best way to reach out, because a lot of those paintings, they don't make it to the site. They usually go at that stage where somebody sees it being done and wants to snatch it up, and that's kind of where you grab them on the small stuff. So Marcel, the longest painting, about 2 years ago, I did a 4x8 painting. It was a massive painting. It was a giant naval battle with 2 pirate ships, over 40 individual pirates all over the scene. It was huge. It was 4x8 feet, and that one took well over 200 hours. Again, I'm a fast painter. It was still over 200 hours. It was just a monster piece. Super fun. I never painted anything that long, you know, and that involved. So it's just amazing to be occupied by the same concept and idea, you know, for that long, and to put it together. And that was really really amazing personal achievement for me, just because I had never had that kind of experience before, doing something that long, that kind of piece, and that many characters. Again, it was so big that it doesn't even show well in prints, because it's just too big. But it was a really fun piece, and really a great collector. So I'm really a fun thing to share. So I enjoyed that. Great question, J Thad. Any paintings I wish I could redo? You know, it's funny when I look at older paintings, because again, I've been sharing the work for so long. When I see older paintings, yes, there's always something. There's stuff in the painting that I did 2 weeks ago that I could probably, you know, retry. It is a strange thing to suddenly you gotta let it go. You know, you gotta, some paintings they're from that moment in time. They capture what I want to capture, and that is what they are. I don't like to revisit. I won't revisit paintings. I won't repaint paintings, but I always try, if I'm doing, you know, something I've done similar, I try and go back to that piece and kind of look through it and go, okay, if I was doing it again, what would I change, and why would I change it? Because I think you can really grow from what you've done in the past. You can kind of grow from yourself, and I think, you know, looking back and kind of seeing that stuff is just so important to evaluate where you go. You know, I'm my biggest critic, but also I want to see what I've done. I want to see what I could explore more. Sometimes if I feel like I haven't got everything I wanted out of a painting and told enough story, I'll often do a couple immediately. You know, if I'm doing some kind of weird or Western piece, and I feel like I didn't tell enough of the story, I'll do a companion painting with it to kind of get all my thoughts out at one time, because I know that if I'm in the painting and in that moment, I want to explore all those options then, not try and come back to it later and try to harness that same energy. It sounds hippy skippy when I say it out loud. Eyeballs. Great questions tonight, guys. Again, I appreciate you, hanging out and help making the stream great, rather than just me sitting here rambling around. Let's give them eyelashes. You have 4 eyes. Boom. What else we got? All right, everybody's all caught up. Some little shadows of the star here. I'm gonna drop my got the frame a little bit here. All right, we're moving right along. Apologize if my head blocks the way. I can't. Well, it's giant, so I try to keep it out of the way here. Let me get the star out of the way, and then I'll get out of your way. Yeah, Stacy, you can message me about commission work. You have to be scared to ask. No one knows until you see the prices. So my commissions, paintings that you commission where I do your ID and that kind of thing, that starts at $3,500 and includes a frame for the piece. Right now my queue is about 3 to 4 months out. But my encouragement, if you're gonna get an original and get a commission done, and obviously it's not inexpensive. So if you're gonna do it, get something that's get something that like a family, that could be a family heirloom. It really captures you and your significant other, or a moment in time. Really tell your story, because I think that's what the originals are so great at doing. It's a chance to have this living scrapbook, told through a really interesting illustrative narrative. They can kind of share your favorite colors, your favorite vehicles. I've done commissions and they've included, if it's a military commission, it's got special numbers hidden in it. It's got, special colors. If it's someone's motorcycle, it's got, special pieces on it, special things that only they may know, but it's theirs. It really kind of tells that story. And I encourage everybody, if you're going to get an original, commission, to really make it your own, really. And I think that's not my superpower, but one of my things I very enjoy doing commissions is to capture that. So when you look at it, you go, oh my God, there's that. That's us. This is that thing we did. This is that. Wow, he put this in there. When I do a commission for somebody, I basically have them give me a list. We talk about the concept, and I have them get as much information as they can. And I really try and incorporate it in creative ways and make it special to them. That it's clearly them. The people that know them will go, oh, there's Stacy on that. That's definitely Stacy. That kind of stuff. So I think that's something you get to do with commissions. So going back to this piece, so I was talking earlier about the piece that was the space piece I did that kind of started these guys. The big, huge piece that's kind of started this. So that was a commission. I don't want to say too much about them, but the things in the painting were their kids, it just kind of really captured them in this moment in time. It kind of really touched them, and they know it's their family. In one look, they know who it is. Anyone who knows them would know it's them. So it's kind of and that's what commissions are great for, is kind of capturing that, the details. Make it yours. You're getting a custom commission to be for you, to be of you, or to be something you love, like dogs, cats, whatever you want to be. Be recognizable, be what you want. Got my soapbox about commissions now. Get off my lawn. Oh, Merbs, is there some stuff out there at the Yamava Casino? All right. Very cool. I didn't know that. Let's hope it's legal. We have a lot of licensing, so there's pieces everywhere that I don't know where they are anymore, because we have a lot of licensing, cell phone cases, blankets, diamond art, all kinds of things. So I kind of lose track, and it's always cool to see them out in the public. And so again, if any of you guys ever see the work out in public, shoot me a photo. I love to kind of see where it ends up. And again, that's why I always love to find out where people found it, where they first saw it. And Marcel, I appreciate it. And that's the idea of doing this stream. It's just kind of relaxing. We can talk art. You know, I'm going to be doing this anyways. I like to share so that people can see it and kind of see the art. And I love to watch artists work. I think it is an incredibly relaxing, interesting experience to watch someone just make something. So I'm glad you're getting the same feeling. Sure I'm still visible. All right. Oh, yes. Oh, Merbs. Okay. Yeah, Merbs, that big mural that's painted there, I do know of that mural. I forgot they had multiple murals there. Yeah, that's not, that was never authorized. Yeah, we saw that when it first opened, they did that. Yeah, it's flattering to see the work out there, but it's giant, and someone got paid to paint my stuff giant. So, yeah, that's cool. I hadn't seen it. I didn't know if it was still there or not. I have to look too, because I know they had the bottoms up as a big piece, but I did not know if they had any other pieces. I'll have to at least copy some Knights, George. Come on. I'm gonna steal the work. Still there as 2 weeks ago. All right, we'll have to try it. Exactly, Stacy. You and the stray cats, you know, and you can have actual cats around you with instruments to kind of be fun, to be you. Like, there's really, when you get a commission, there's no holds barred. You know, the only limitation is your imagination. You know, so everything can be in play. Just let me know Instagram. Oh, you're almost blocked. Let's pop this up a little bit so that Instagram can see what we got going on here. Can you see that Instagram? You got that? Let's see it pop up there. There you go. Pop above and we're all good to go here. For sure, Stacy. And again, you can just send me an email, you know, we could talk about your ideas. Don't hesitate. You know, it's I can answer all the kind of questions, how it all works. But you see it, you know, for commissions, we talk about a concept and then you see a drawing. You see what it's going to look like before I ever paint it. Like you approve it, you know, we make any revisions. So it's never, you kind of get to see the whole process, and I will not let you do a bad piece. Don't worry. Put your paint in the wine. Marcel, a lot of money. You know, I for supplies and stuff, it is not cheap, and that's how I actually started selling my work to begin with, because I was just spending too much to just be, you know, doing this in the house and not sharing the work. You know, everything is very expensive. All supplies obviously are even more expensive right now because a lot are not produced here. So it is, but again, that doesn't mean you need to do that. You can get by with cheap supplies just to make art. You know, you don't need to have fancy stuff. You work your way up to that. And again, and then you kind of, a sketchbook and a pencil, you know, that's the beginning step. You do that enough, you start with that, you know, to prove you deserve the other stuff. You know, you got to fill a sketchbook first before you buy paints, you know, really do all that work, invest in yourself and get creative. That's, but it can be expensive for sure. And Stacy, Yes, can you ever detail? Yes, you can definitely have over detail and overwork stuff, and that's why I just kind of experience knowing when I should bail out, when it needs something else. It's really kind of hard to explain like verbally, but I know when I look at something, I'm like, okay, calm down, ease back on that, tap the throttle. But again, the more interesting stuff you have, the more a piece really works. I love my super involved pieces like Last Call, which is a bar scene that has, it basically has 13 different paintings of mine, elements of it in this painting. I love that kind of stuff, putting tons of detail, tons of stories. Obviously you need to go big the more details you put in, so it doesn't get muddy. But I love to get as much in as I can. Like I want sub stories on top of sub stories on top of sub stories. Little details that someone won't even notice till they look at the painting years later. Like I love that. I'm a big fan of that kind of cramming it with stuff. Okay, great questions, everybody. You guys have really made this easy. It's way better when you're all asking questions than listen to me ramble or the randomness that's in my head. This one right. This is where it gets. I want to mess that part up. All right. So claws, the background is done with layers of acrylic. I basically start with the lighter layers and basically kind of keep building up where I apply it with brush, with water, splattery, loose. And I keep building up the texture, keep building it up. And it's probably like, this one here is probably like 6 layers of paint, getting darker and darker and drying in between each layer. So I kind of build it up. I've also done the same technique, similar technique with spray paint sometimes, which can give you a little more depth to the color, but that's my, kind of my background recipe. It's been for all my pieces. It just kind of keeps it very ethereal with the colors. So that's kind of how we craft them all. Yeah. So Marcel, it was definitely a hobby. Started with just got to do the work. I was sketching during my lunch breaks at my day job. Kind of just getting involved, doing the work, kind of finding my style, finding what I wanted to paint, what stories I wanted to tell. And basically, I kind of started doing farmers markets, just being out there sharing the work, and just kind of really exploded from there. But I, just perfecting my craft so that when I started making work and started being out there professional, selling the work, that I was mature, the work was mature, and I knew what I wanted to do, and like I said, the stories I wanted to tell. And then I just started, sharing the work. Kind of really focusing and dedicating myself to getting better and painting more. I was doing, sometimes 3-4 shows a month, festivals, street fairs, and I'm out there live painting every show. So I really generated a lot of work, which really matured my style and kind of caught up for me not starting till I was 30. All right, Melissa, I appreciate you naming the alien Steve. I got that now. He did need a name, so he looks like a Steve too. Get my stupid head out of the way, huh? Sorry about that. I head keeps getting in the way. No one wants to see that. Let me just clean my brush off here. I need a pokey stick that jabs my head if I try and put it in front of the camera. All right. Let's home stretch this guy. Yeah, so and just to follow up, Marcel, on your question. So I was hobbyist for probably 5 years before, 5-6 years before I went full time. Get my head out of the way. Like we talked about, it is very weird to not have actual music. I know you guys can hear music. I can't hear that music. So it's just me and the voices in my head. All right, I'm trying to consciously keep my head out of the stream. Let's see that. Joanna, the voices would not be a cool painting. Nobody wants to see the voices in my head. Try and take over. JFad, yes, I will be in Prescott the second week of December. I think it's like the 13th, 14th, 15th, whatever that Friday, Saturday, Sunday is. I will be there. I'll be live demoing. I'll bring a bunch of fun stuff. If you guys are in the area, I encourage you to come hang out at the Ian Russell Gallery right on Whiskey Row. And my work is there all year long, so if you want to go check it out, it is there. It's a great gallery. If you love artwork, you're going to really enjoy the gallery. There's something for everybody there. They have all kinds of different stuff, so I encourage you checking that out. Ian Russell Gallery, downtown Prescott, right in Whiskey Row. So I will be there. I'll be in downtown Oceanside in late October for the Day of the Dead. I think Sunday the 25th, if I'm correct. Whatever that Sunday is, I'll be there. I'll be November 1st. I'll be Day of the Dead. I'll be painting in Old Town at Tienda de Reyes. So you can come see me there. At all these events, I'm signing. I'll have a full selection of prints. So you can come hang out, get something personalized, and just hang out and watch me paint. So hopefully, if you're local, you can check that out. And maybe we'll live stream some of that stuff for the guys and the peeps who can't make it. Yes, Stacy, this is a pinstriping brush. It is a liner brush, but it's not exclusively a pinstriping brush. It's just a synthetic liner. A bunch of different companies make them. This one here is a Kafka brush. It's by no means the best. There's a lot of them. Treckle makes a bunch. Everybody makes synthetic liners, but I enjoy this one. I go through a bunch pretty quickly because they don't last very long. But yeah, but synthetic liner is a key part of it. If you get a synthetic liner, and this is also a 5.0, which is the smallest, aught 5, I think they call it, is the smallest you can even get in a brush. So but it is those small liners are my favorite. They are what really makes the line work be what it is. It makes it all come together. Yeah, Stacy, that's an annual gig. Every December, I'm there for that. Because again, the work's at the gallery all year, so it's a fun way to kind of meet up with people and sign things and just kind of hang out. We've been doing it for so long. It's like a family reunion. Everybody comes out. It's really fun. Again, I usually paint a big piece, and it's just become kind of a tradition now. Part of my holiday tradition is going up there. So again, the same with the Day of the Dead and Oceanside. All those events are really ones that I'm still doing because I retired from doing regular festivals. If I'm still doing it, it's because it's a fun thing that I did along. It's kind of ingrained in our existence. Yes, Marcel, I do. So my work has been licensed onto skateboards, snowboards, guitars, just about everything. So you can see those. Yeah, some are on my site. We're about to launch calendars in a week or two. We have 5 different calendars, different types of calendars. We have a military, a true love, pirates and mermaids, and also a Wild West and a car one. So a little bit of everything. And again, the calendars, skateboard. Also, it's just fun to see the art on these things. So we have a lot of licensing companies that we work with, and they basically license the art and then produce it on this cool stuff like skateboards and snowboards and cell phone cases and, like I said, all those other things. So it's fun. And sometimes, once in a while, yes, I do paint. I don't often paint on skateboards anymore, but I just did one for Pearl Jam's charity a few weeks ago. That was a fun one to be part of that campaign. So it was a fun chance to paint on boards because I hadn't painted on boards in so long. So it was kind of a fun to get back to that. It's been years since I did a board, so it was fun to do that again. Hey, Matt, welcome to the stream. Madam, yes. Again, like I said, super excited for the calendars. Those will be up, I think, a post within a few days. They're ready, they're here, and we just got them, and they're ready to roll out. And I'm super excited. Just to be able to have 5 calendars of the work of all these different designs is just really a dream come true because it's so hard to pick, what genres we should do calendars with. And boy, they made it easy. They just let us do all of them. So again, Wild West, cars, military, and then mermaids and stuff. So really all the genres represented. So I'm excited to roll those out, and those are coming in the next week or so. Do you like antennas? Draw that in there. Do I like making space sounds while I draw? Yep. That wasn't a question. That was just me. All right. Well, besides a rocky start to this, everything seems to have worked out pretty well. Like I said, we're going to. I'm excited. I got all kinds of stuff planned. I got a bunch of stuff over here you can't see. Top secret stuff off to the side that will be some of the originals that are coming. I also have some big paintings that I will also live stream. It won't just be small stuff. It won't just be cute. I think next week is actually going to be a serious bird piece. So a little bit of everything. I hope that you guys will join me. We're in the home stretch to this one. Great Bob Ross, yes. Maybe it's a button right here. There's another button right here. Have little buttons. Do I do any other art styles? Claus, do I do any other art styles besides painting? So yes, I do obviously drawing, painting. I do some 3D sculpture stuff I have in the past. I don't do as many of those. I'd always do them for my artist in residency at Disney. And now that I don't do that, I haven't done sculptures in a while. So I'm dying to get back into that. I do make custom frames for my work, which tend to be very sculptural also. So I guess kind of 3D stuff. So, but painting's the priority. Drawing feeds the painting, and sculpture's kind of, I do ink and watercolor. Because again, it's right in the same vein, but I do like the ink and watercolor. It's a great break. It's a fun switch up. So I do that too. But it really all kind of falls under the same title of painting. So it's all kind of linked to that. If that makes any sense. Oh, great. Aldo's here. You're going to get banned. Boot you. Shade this back in here a little bit. I'm going to give a little depth to her backpack here. So Marcel, great question. He's saying, how is the process? Is the plans already in my head for a new painting, or is it spontaneous? So it's not the action I'm doing right now. I would say is the most spontaneous part of my painting. Painting's been planned out in my head in terms of color and the underpainting. This line work is the most spontaneous part. This is where it all comes together, and I can make choices. But I kind of everything is planned out. My next paintings, they all start as sketches first. Where I refine the idea and the process to make sure, just to make sure it works, to make sure, I rework it to make sure, because again, a good drawing is a good painting. Bad drawings make bad paintings. So it just takes time to make sure, and concepts and ideas. So I keep a list on my phone of ideas, of concepts and stuff, and then I'll just kind of go through the list and see what strikes my fancy when it's time to paint. And but everything is, I plan everything out, as an artist, I think you need to know what you're doing and what your plan's going to be. And again, the spontaneous part is this part here, making it come to life when all the hard work's been done. This is really the easy part for me. This is the fun, let it all come together, just go do the details, go find it. I've done all the hard work already, and this is kind of the exciting part. This is kind of where it all comes together, and good planning makes it come together a lot easier. Aldo says, I missed a line. Well, if Aldo wants to come over here and finish it. Aldo's just messing. But you can see the difference. The black lime really just brings everything to life. It is the secret weapon, it is what makes it all look like it does, and it is my favorite part. Like I'm excited to get to this point. I've been waiting to get to this point on this painting. On every painting, I wait to get to this point. And just to follow up, Marcel, when I do the painting, I take my sketch and I transfer it to this canvas before I start painting it so that my drawing is exactly as I sketched it out. To make sure all the problems that I've already figured out in the sketch, I don't have to worry about reappearing later on because I've already worked them all out. So I just trace my drawing and then start painting it. Brush is going to need a clean in a minute. It's a little chunky. Yes, Aldo, give me a little bit and I'll let you see the whole painting. I'll pull back. I got about probably about 5 minutes left, and then I'll pull back and we'll talk about the painting and get the last questions in and you can see it all. Melissa, thank you so much for hanging out as always. Much appreciated. We will start your perfect attendance run at 1. All right, everybody, we got about 10 minutes left, so get your questions in. Hammer out some of these stars and keep my head out of the way. Now we'll just do some boots. Boot scoot, and we'll be done. So once the painting is finished, it will take about a day for this enamel to dry, to cure. And then I will clear coat it, scan it, and then the original will get shipped off. And then I make all the graphics for prints and that kind of stuff. So then that stuff usually gets put up about, a few weeks after the painting is finished. Oh, I forgot about the elbow. All right, we are getting down to it here. So we're gonna make sure I didn't miss anything. What do you want? Let's put some rivets. There's some boots. These are designer moon boots, clearly. It's all right, Aldo, you made it. You made it before it was over. One Bad Mex, thanks, man. Appreciate it. You've had a good time here on the stream. We're just making the last couple of things going on here. But again, we'll be here every Wednesday, 5 p.m. PST, so you guys can come hang out. Like I said, we'll be doing drawing, painting, a little bit of everything. We're doing art. That's all you need to know. Just tune in. We're going to be doing all kinds of different stuff. Got a couple surprises. Like I said, if you tuned in for the dogs, I apologize. We had a little meltdown before the stream, and the dogs were removed from the premises. But they'll be back. They don't often stay away long, so they'll be back. And we'll get them back in here. You guys can still see that? I'm almost behind my little... Here, let's pop us up a hair so Instagram can see the feet. That's the last little footies. And we'll get this thing signed and done. Again, if I missed any of your questions, since we had so much problem with the feed earlier, I'll go back through and make sure I catch them all. Let's put another, I don't know much about rocket construction, but I feel like that would be riveted. Put one of those in there. So the name for this painting is a Space for Us. And you can see, I know you can't see right now, there's a little, another little skelly on top. And this will be available in prints in a few weeks. It'll be in probably canvas in an 8x10. If you like it, you'll have a chance to snatch some. All right. So we're just gonna make the last couple of strokes here. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to follow up. You can always message me, any details. I appreciate everyone hanging out on the stream. Let me make this last star and I'll pull back so you can kind of see the finished painting. And again, I appreciate everybody hanging out. This went really well. Even we lost even the dogs tried to salvage it, or tried to sink it, not salvage it. But we're here, and again, every Wednesday. So let me do that. I want some lines on that guy. That'd be a bigger hole in the rocket. You know what? Let's put a little. I feel like you need to put a little bracket for that hole to be. There you go. A couple of little texture marks on the rocket. We're gonna put a little signature right on the boot. All right, quick look to make sure I didn't forget anything, and let's pull back so you guys can check out the full thing. Pop this down a little bit. Zoom out a little bit. Oops. Toss the whole painting. All right, let me just wash my brush off. Alien's Sadie Bird, we decided to name that Steve is the name of the alien. So that was what the stream decided, or Melissa decided. So that was the final name. Marcel, thank you, man. I'm incredibly humbled to be able to do this as a job. It's never not amazing that I get to do this, and I'm completely humbled that I get to share the art. So let me give you a full look here. I'm gonna pull back so you can see the full shot. So we can see that. Oop, try to throw it. There you go. Zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see the full. There you go. I know it's behind the box. We all love Steve. Steve will probably show up in another painting, to be honest. I feel like that's just how it works. You do it once and they end up showing up again. Again, Marcel, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out on the stream, everybody. Stacy, again, you too. Appreciate you guys hanging out. I love to do this. I love to share. You guys make it so easy when you're hanging out, asking questions. You make it very fun. Like I said, this was as rough as it's ever going to be. We're gonna get better at this. I appreciate everybody being here. This is what I do, and your support really makes it so I can do this. So again, thank you guys all, and I'm going to clock out of the stream. Thank you everybody who joined. Nicole, thank you too. Appreciate it. Everybody who commented, asked questions, excellent. It made it really fun. So again, thank you guys all, and we'll catch you next Wednesday, 5 p.m. PST. All right? So take care. I'm now going to walk over here and end it. Thank you, guys.